Greetings, my acolytes, and welcome back to the archives. I have been expecting you. Recently, we have been continuing the Into the Multiverse series, with us now being up to episode 5. This 5th installment is quite an impressive episode, as personally, it has been my favourite to write so far. Last week, we covered the possibility of what if the Sith Chosen One was born, seeing that Darth, one of the most powerful Sith Lords in the Legends timeline, was reborn as a Sith Ari. The Sith Ari obviously being the fabled Sith Chosen One of prophecy. Today we are going to be commencing this, and as I promised last week, we are going to be continuing the story of the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker. Now, Anakin Skywalker has the biggest and most pivotal role to play in the coming episodes of this series. Also, what is your opinion on this series? Are you enjoying it, or do you think I should stop? I would really love your opinion, and based on the amount of views it has been receiving, and episode 1, 2, 3, and 4 have received, is an absolute ridiculous hit in the Star Wars community. Anyway, my friends, this is a rather shorter episode, so without further ado, let us proceed and get on with the video. Nihilus' ship, the flagship, the Ravager, tore through the stars. Fleets of glimmering opaque diamonds that shimmered in the empty void of space. Nihilus felt the dark side power gathering around him, the spirits of old actively anointing and detesting from his presence. Nihilus didn't care. The spirits of old were relics of the past. Their power only a raindrop in a sea of dark side energy that he commanded. His slaves worked like mindless zombies, enslaved to his will. They were utterly loyal and would kill themselves if he asked. He felt the dark side power gather around him as he approached the desert plain of Tatooine, a golden sphere encased completely in sand, a golden plain with only little life brimming on its planetary surface. Nihilus peered into the Force, peering into the cosmic energy field that bound the galaxy together, that he had now manipulated and bent to its will. He had made the dark side his property, and the dark side has made him theirs. Through the Force, Nihilus sensed a nexus of Force energy, a wellspring of pure Force power, emanating from a very surface. A being so infused with the Force he might have been conceived by the midichlorians themselves. Nihilus knew that his presence was feared not only in this galaxy, but in all others. He had heard rumours of the fabled Celestials, and an ancient Sith spirit known as the Dark Underlord, beings of immense dark side power whose state to still exist in the Star Wars galaxy today, though in hiding. And even they went in hiding, due to Nihilus' immense dark side power. Nihilus proceeded to enact his ritual, extending his hands as the life force of Tatooine, save for one being, the wellspring of the Force itself, the Chosen One, the slave boy, Anakin Skywalker, fled to him. The scorched desert sands of Tatooine wrung on Anakin's flesh. As the sun began to set on the golden sand plains of Tatooine, a young slave boy named Anakin Skywalker, the prophesied Chosen One unbeknownst to him, sat surrounded by various mechanical devices that he had at his disposal. He'd been working on them for hours, his mind attentive and focused on making them better, faster, stronger, to ultimately complete a pod racer to enter in Bunta Eve. As the shadows grew longer, the door to Watto's junk shop flew open, and Anakin's mother, Shmi Skywalker, emerged. She walked with a limp, her body still sore and in agony from the recent beating inflicted upon her by her brutal slave master. Anakin felt a surge of rage ignite within him like his heart had become a supernova. His mother was the kindest person he knew, and if anyone deserved a better life, it was her. He needed to kill Watto. He vowed revenge on him for killing and ever harming him and his mother. She approached Anakin and placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Anakin, it's time to go to sleep," she said, her voice soft and tired. Anakin, oblivious to his own Force sensitivity, refused to stop working. He was determined to finish what he had started. If he would succeed, he would not only get enough credits to buy their freedom, but also to hire a bounty hunter to exterminate Watto. Shmi insisted, and he reluctantly agreed, putting away his tools and standing up to go to bed, taking one last look at his nearly complete project before closing the door and climbing into the covers. As he followed his mother into the small dwelling they called home, he couldn't help shake the feeling that there was something more out of him, a destiny that he had yet to discover, just out of grasp, that was about to come into the light. Anakin Skywalker jolted up, awaking to a cold grip bearing onto him like an icy hand was encapsulating his heart. He subconsciously sensed a shadow of immense power slowly seeping into the planet, creeping over it like a plague. As he ran outside, he saw a red energy radiating malice and pure purity, gushing towards a gargantuan-sized being, emanating evil, power, and death. The being was a skeletal, with bone-white mask, billowing black robes as dark as the night, whirling around him like a whirlpool of shadow. A silver slit gripped in his hand, emanating a rod of crimson lightning protruding from the silver slit. His eyes were like that of the void, carved chisels of obsidian that sparked malice and had no life within them. Anakin stared in absolute awe as the wave of perpetual hatred swept over him, the golden sands Tatooine wailing in the night as all life was stripped from it, save for one being, Anakin. For one sudden moment, Anakin felt a pull in his heart as he gazed down, seeing his mother's lifeless corpse, her lifeless eyes, her grey clammy skin like a zombie. He rushed down the stairs like an Olympic sprinter to see her lifeless body, and wailed as he noticed the tendrils of red energy ceasing to siphon within the mysterious, enigmatic, all-powerful god. He wailed and cried in sorrow over her corpse as his tears seeped into her clothes, her slave gown. The mysterious shadow proceeded to sweep over him. Anakin diverted his attention to face the mysterious figure, who stated that he was Darth Nihilus, the ruler of the galaxy.
I am Darth Nihilus, ruler of the galaxy, and the devourer of worlds.
Nihilus explained his immense power, as Anakin watched and listened intently, seeing how ironic it could be that he could go from being a mere slave boy to a governor and ruler in the galaxy, a main pivotal figure, and the main player in the new empire. Nihilus promised that if Anakin joined his side in the coming conflict, that he could sense tremors in the Force, that Nihilus could make Anakin a god, a Force god. He could liberate all slaves. He could even bring back people from dying. Anakin's power manifested in one final wave as he attempted to unleash a wave of translucent blue Force energy at Nihilus. However, Nihilus, now far beyond mortal comprehension, was completely a virgin in the Force. He merely absorbed it, adding his own to his own Force reservoir of dark side energy. Nihilus cackled.
Your potential is astounding, surpassing all who came before you.
Nihilus stared down at Anakin with his void-like, lifeless eyes, warning him,
If you abuse my offer of apprenticeship, you will die like a cold hand seizing your heart.
Anakin was at a crossroads, with the weight of the galaxy weighing on his shoulders. He could either reject the offer and die alone, or accept it and become a Force god. He knew that Nihilus' offer was not one to be taken lightly. He felt the immense power emanating from the Dark World, the same power that had stripped life from his mother and all inhabitants and life on the planet. Anakin stood there, staring at Nihilus, unsure of what to say or do. He knew this was a decision that would change the course of the galaxy itself forever. He wanted to be sure that he was making the right choices. Nihilus could sense the boy's hesitation through the Force, and spoke again.
Do not let your emotions cloud your judgment. Anakin, you had the potential to become one of the greatest Force users to have ever existed, and I can guide you to reach that potential. Together, we can rule the galaxy. No one will stand in our way.
Anakin's mind raced as though he was thinking about what Nihilus was offering him. He knew that he had the power to make a difference, to bring about change and to incur things right. He had thought about his mother and the life of the slave he had known, and knew he could not go back to that, especially if the fate was worse than death. He gazed up at Nihilus, his eyes filled with determination, and spoke. I will join you, Nihilus. I will become your apprentice. I lust for power, control, and I will do anything it takes to reach my full potential. Nihilus smiled, a cold, calculating and malicious grin barely perceivable through the confines of his mask, as he extended his hand to Anakin, much like extending the grasp of the void, merciless and freezing.
Welcome to the dark side, Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin took Nihilus' hand, feeling the power and energy coursing through his body merely by a touch. He was no longer a slave boy from Tatooine. He was a Sith apprentice. Nothing would ever be the same again. The galaxy would soon be at the mercy of the most powerful Force user to ever exist. And Anakin would be right by his side, as his apprentice and his weapon, and one day, his master. Well, my acolytes, What did you think of this video? Did you enjoy this lore about my hypothetical scenario? And did you enjoy the continuation of the Into the Multiverse series? Personally, one of my favourite projects I've ever picked up here on the channel. The Into the Multiverse series will span a lot longer than any anticipate, and will culminate in much more dire circumstances for the galaxy than any of you beings know. Farewell, my acolytes. I'll see you in the galaxy far, far away. Beware the hunger, and I'll kneel before the dragon of Zakul.